Good morning. So today is day 2 of trying to put the rest of our garden stuff, preserve that up, and today I am going to be dragging. So not last night, but the night before last, we stayed someplace that heated only by a wood stove, and it's like a really small stove bed. So I was up quite a bit with that because I kept like stoking the stove until about 1 in the morning. Then I knew that it would stay hot enough in there until I got up in the morning. So then I slept. And then so we came back last night, and you could probably tell last night I was like really just kind of dragging along. And then my daughter, I do not know what's going on. My 2-year-old, I hadn't even fallen asleep yet, and my 2-year-old starts like screaming, and I'm like, oh, what is going on? But like I was trying to calm her down quietly. So our 2-year-old and the baby, who's 6 months old, sleep in our room. And so she was just like freaking out, and then she said bucket, and I was like, oh, maybe she's gonna get sick. So I scooped her right up and I brought her downstairs with a bucket. And but at that point the baby had woken up, so my husband was trying to like get the baby to fall back asleep because she hadn't been asleep very long. Like I had nursed her and she had fallen asleep, so he was trying to like just to get her to sleep, and she did fall back asleep for maybe 10 minutes. But then she woke up again, so I ended up taking her downstairs as well. And it was just a whole night of, finally I got the screaming toddler who never threw up, the screaming toddler who was screaming. I got her settled, and then by that time she had screamed so much, the 6-month-old thought it was playtime, so she's like rolling around the floor having a party. So she did that for about an hour, and then she fell asleep. And then the screaming 2-year-old, just she kept waking up, like she wasn't even awake, she was just screaming. So I know a lot of you mamas have done these types of days, and you're going to understand that this is the type of day we're having, but we still have all this stuff to preserve. So coffee, drunk. I have canners on. I'll show you what's going on. Okay, I will go into the kitchen first, I think, and just show you what we had done last night. And so let's pretend there's no dishes there. Okay, so these are the cans that we got done last night. We got 14 cans done. And then we have the 2 canners going with 14 more quarts. And then out here in the dining room, you can tell by the light, my kitchen's pretty dark, but my dining room, actually, when we first moved to this house, this was not a dining room. And I dreamed of this being a dining room for a long, long time. There's that right there on the ceiling. It used to be a wall there, and that used to be our door that we came in and out of. So it was like a hallway and then a small thing. And so I was able to like take that wall out and make more space there. And then we put a 12-foot table in here, which I absolutely love. It's like one of my favorite things in this house is like I wanted some space to like gather around a table. I think that's so cool. I didn't grow up. I was an only child. I didn't really grow up like gathering around the table or anything like that. And we didn't celebrate holidays because I grew up Jehovah's Witness. I'm not Jehovah's Witness anymore. I'm a Christian. But we grew up that way. So there wasn't a lot of gathering around the table. But the first time I met my husband, he has a larger family, and they were all gathered around the table. And I was thinking, that is so cool. So I wanted a table to gather around, and for a period of time, it was more like, oh, you sit over here, you sit over here. Okay, some people on the floor, and yada yada. So I'm very thankful to have my table. It's one of my favorite parts of my house. Okay, and it's in a room that it has 3 bigger windows, and they're at a southeast kind of scenario, so I get quite a bit of light in here without having to have lights. Okay, so let's see, we have, I don't even know how many I've left. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So we have 24 of those, so that would be let's see, 3 and a little bit more canners. Okay, so we have those left to do. I'm getting somebody to take water and fill these with water and then wiping them down and getting the rings. I just wanted to get the 14 that I got in there before we started on about our day. So then I have some wilty, funky, it's Swiss chard. We are not super Swiss chard fans. We will eat kale all day long. Swiss chard, we'll eat it if we do whatever. But I thought of a grand plan. And my grand plan is this. I have this pot. It's actually a canner. So I'm going to take the bottom piece out. I think it is a 40, maybe the sticker's off. It's a 40-something quart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a big old pot of broth. My daughter's starting a fire on the wood stove in the other room. And so it's going to be dual purpose. It's actually kind of warm today, but I don't want to, I'm worried about like the prices. Like if I use all my propane up for my stove, I'm not sure what the propane prices are going to be next time I fill up. So I'd rather use wood. So we have a wood stove that has an oven in it. So I'm going to take these chickens, and then I'm going to take all of that Swiss chard, and then I'm going to take some of the turnips and whatever other vegetables that I can just find. I think I have a couple carrots left. I'll probably put a couple onions in here and just put a bunch of vegetables in with these chickens, and I'll make a big thing of stock. So what I'll do is it'll be on the wood stove today and tomorrow, and then I would can it on Thursday. So that is what I will do with that, which gave me a plan for that Swiss chard. So the rest of the turnips, I've decided, all those turnips, we are going to can those turnips. I'm running out of some quart jars, which is surprising, but not surprising. So I'm going to do quarts and pints of those. But that also works out because a lot of times I wouldn't want to put a whole quart into like a soup. I might want to just put a pint in, just depending on what we're doing. So then we have all the pumpkins. Remember all the pumpkins? There's one basket. I kind of moved them around because I needed space to work and we needed spaces to eat. And then those pumpkins. And then those pumpkins there. So those I have decided to cut all in half, scoop out, and rotate through the oven all throughout today and possibly tomorrow. But I'm not quite sure. I think that I might just try to do what I can today and go from there. But I should be able to get a lot done today. So that is going to be the goal. And I'm going to use the food processor, puree it, and then bag it up and put it in the freezer. I'd rather just have it bagged up and in the freezer. If I need it, if I can use it, then we have it. And if I don't need it, then I can deal with it at a later time. But I'd rather just have it because if I have it pureed, I can always, on days that I don't have my dehydrator going. Where is my dehydrator? My dehydrator is there. If days that I don't have my dehydrator going right now, it has kale in it. I can put some pumpkin in it, and then I'll be able to puree a bunch of it. And I would not mind having a couple gallons of pumpkin puree like that either, because that stores really well. So I think I'll show you bits and pieces of what we do throughout the day and check in and let you know what's going on. And if you find me snoozing, yeah, it might happen. I don't know. No, not really. I probably won't take a nap, but I am tired. So I'll talk to you later. Bye. I realized that I hadn't done stock with you guys, so I do it different every single time. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to put in this stock because of what I have here. So I have these just sitting on the table. I don't know why they were sitting on the table. These are some of the turnips. They're not peeled or anything like that. I'm just chunking them up. We're not actually eating them. We're just having them in there to get the nutrition from the turnip into your broth. So I just chunk it. I take onion. I need to sharpen that. Oh, goodness. Skin and all. I'm going to be straining this all through, so I'm not worried about it. My goal is just to have a bunch of nutrition in here. So I'll put like half a pumpkin in here. It really doesn't matter what you put in here. You just want to have nutrient-dense foods. And you don't have to put anything in there. You could just have the bone broth as well. I'm just trying to use up a bunch of this stuff. So obviously, when I do this, my broth may have a greenish tinge because I'm putting so much Swiss chard in it. It doesn't bother me at all. So I have 2 frozen homegrown chickens. These are tiny. I had some that were even smaller than this. We will drain these. We will drain these out at some portion and pull some of the meat off here, just off the breast. I'll wait until they look cooked, and then I'll just kind of like grab tongs on it, pull it out for a minute, and just take like the breast pieces off and then put them back in. So I would have that little bit of meat from there. But this is going to get filled and put on top of the wood stove. It's as simple as that. So I like to keep my broth going for 2 days and then canning it on the 3rd day. Everyone does it different. That's just how I do it. I do not cook it overnight. I turn the burner off, or the wood stove dies or whatever, and I just turn it right back on the next day and then do it the following morning. I would warm it up and then can it from there. Okay, I'm back. It is, let's see, 11:54, so almost noontime. People are eating lunch. We're working on cleaning up as well. We're at a good stopping space. So I thought that I would just give you what we're at. It's still a little drizzly outside. I'm hoping that we can just have maybe split up and have some people go outside after nap time, and then some people stay inside. So we'll see how that goes. So the pumpkins are all like ready to go into an oven. We have the oven full with pumpkins now. We have some seeds that we're just going to cook up this afternoon. I didn't save all the seeds from this. The dehydrator is going to be full, so I have, I think, 4 things of pumpkin seed, dehydrated pumpkin seeds, like in quarts. So I have 4 quarts already. So think that I'm okay with that. We'll find out for next year. We got the turnips done. So those are all prepped and awaiting to go in a canner. So we have, let's see, how many did I say? I think like 72. I think it was 72. I did count them. My brain's just not working. So I think there's 72. These are in pints. I decided to put them in pints. 1, because I'm short on quart jars, and 2, the pints they look, oh, she said 75. So they look a lot like potatoes when they're canned like this. And I have quarts of potatoes downstairs. So I'd like, even though they're going to go in different areas, I'd like for at first glance people to know that these are turnips and not potatoes. So that's why I put them in the smaller jars. So I would know like right away, even if they weren't written on, what they were. All right, I'm going to come into, oh no, wait a minute. Almost forgot. So my dehydrator full of kale equaled this. This is about half a laundry basket full of kale in here. And this can be used in smoothies if we don't have any in the freezer or frozen or fresh. So we'll use fresh or we'll use frozen normally. Once we run out at the end of usually January-ish, something like that, then we would do that. So we have, my kitchen's really a mess, but here we go. These are our 2 containers of 2 gallons of the kimchi. And then we have, looking around, we have these ones are done. So we pulled out, she just pulled out 14 more, so there should be 28 there. And these are the ones that are remaining. And then there is the, green beans. So the green beans only go for 35 minutes. Turnips go for 35 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll do the green beans with a couple things of turnips next in the canner. We'll keep the right canner going with the pumpkin because that will be 90 minutes. And then after we do the green beans with the turnip batch, then we'll just continue with turnips through the other one throughout the afternoon because those are only 35 minutes that they need. So we'll just work on that. I'm not quite sure when it will get done tonight. We'll just set timers, and as soon as the timer goes off, then we'll just, one of us, whoever's there, will be able to check it and swap it out. And then we have one counter of our pumpkins, which we'll need to scrape out and pulse. But probably what I'll do is I'll just start making a pile of the done pumpkin at the table itself. And then once we get a bunch of them, then, because it does go quick once you're once you've already have all the equipment out. So I'll just start stacking them at the table, like in pans, and then just keep putting them through. Once I have more than half of them in the oven done, then I'll go and do that. We did start the wood stove. So we have that stock on the wood stove, and then we have pumpkins in the wood stove. I'm not quite sure. I might start up the oven in the house. I probably will start up the oven in the house and put some pumpkins in there. It feels warm today. I'm trying not to use too much propane, but at the same time, I'd like to try to get this just done and over with. So that's probably what I'll do. So I'll be back. Hi, we're back. So we still have things in the middle of going. I was just out in the woods. I just filmed a video out in the woods for what we did for Woods Day for about an hour. I went out in the woods and we did a bunch of stuff, kind of cool. So we will be uploading that video soon. So I have a bunch of the pumpkins like this. I'm going to just work on scooping those out and pureeing that and then putting that in the freezer. I have two, that's right now I have those trays and then the seeds. I only have those 6. Oops, I don't know if you can see them. Those 6, there we go. I only have those 6 left to, it's hot in here. I only have those 6 to go ahead and do the, in the oven or whatever. So I'm just going to work on this for a little bit. People are doing their outside chores. As soon as the baby actually fell asleep before I came up to nurse her, but as soon as she needs to, then I will be feeding her and switching jobs with somebody. I'll probably scoop these, somebody else will probably puree them. But I just wanted to do kind of like, this will probably be like my last part of this video. So I wanted to give you an update of everything that we did. This will be done tonight. We're just kind of rotating through and that's about it. I mean, we're not actually like physically doing processing or anything like that, any food right now. We're just putting the pumpkins in the oven, taking them out, and then we'll work on that, but everything else is pretty much tidied up. So we got 47 quarts of butternut squash. We got 75 pints of turnips. I got 1 quart of greens powder. I got 6 quarts of greens for the freezer. I got 4 quarts of green beans and a meal, and then 2 gallons of kimchi to put up. The things that we have left are just this pumpkin puree. We'll be doing the puree. I'll fill the dehydrator with puree, and then the rest of it I'll throw in the freezer. And that'll be about it. I'll probably get, if I'm looking at everything, I don't know, maybe the dehydrator full, and then I don't know, maybe 6-gallon bags, I'm thinking. That would just be my guesstimate. I'm not quite sure on that, but so that's it. So we did it. We got it done. Most of it was done before we went outside. I went to go outside at 1, It was like 1:15 when I left here. I just came in at 2:45. It takes a while to get back there. We don't have any side by sides or anything like that to get out there. So you're like actually walking out. I think it's about 10 acres, then clearing and then walking back in or whatever. And this house did not feel that hot, but then when I came back in, it feels so hot. It's actually a nice day outside. I think it's only like 60 or something. So it's a really nice day to work outside. But I did start the wood stove because I was cooking the pumpkins in the wood stove, and then I'm cooking that chicken broth on the wood stove, which I will can up on Wednesday, and I hope I'll take you along with that once I can that up. Yeah, so it was fun. It was good. I'm glad that this table in front of me is not full of raw produce anymore. I'm happy that it's all canned up and will be good for my family for the winter. So what are you guys doing for the winter? Drop it down below in the description box. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. All right, have a good day. Bye.